Hey and welcome back to my corner. And yes, I promise I am working on season 2 of Telltale's The Walking Dead. I promise that I am working on that. But right now I need a little bit of a buffer because the game series, it's great, don't get me wrong. It's an amazing story. But it's extremely emotionally taxing. So I need a little bit of a buffer, so I figured, why not cover this? The Lion King, made in 1994. It's a decent movie. It's a good movie. But the reason I'm covering it, it's not really because the movie. It's more so because hang on. I remember doing some middle school play, and I have it on DVD. And I wanted to talk about it, and I figured, why not, while I'm doing that, why not summarize the plot of the story? And I can also give some insight on how we did certain things, and etc. Although I will say, I was actually in this, but by accident. You see, back in the day, I actually wanted to grab saw that, I'm like, oh, that seems fun. Maybe, like, some sort of tech crew role would be great for me. Great, I grabbed the form, signed it off, done. Only after did I realize it was an actor form, and I'm like, It was too late to change, so I ended up going for a very, very minor role so that I didn't really have to do much of anything. But other than that, let's get started. Wait, hang on a second, how did I... That's better. I haven't watched this DVD in about 5 years or something, but who did this? I actually don't know. By the way, welcome to the night shift. But yeah, the reason why I zoomed up on that date is because I remembered that we actually did 4 shows. The first one, this was on a Sunday, but the first one was on Friday, November 2nd. It was a evening show. Then we did 2 on the 3rd, Saturday being an afternoon and an evening show. And then we did then we did the 4th in the afternoon. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. The movie, plot. The plot starts with Simba being born and him being shown off at Pride Rock to the rest of the kingdom. And we just repeated a bunch of words that will stick in my head for the rest of my life. Oh look, there's me, the stupid kid with the long blonde hair. If you're wondering how that giraffe was made, real quick, if I remember correctly, I think it was, those, like, plastic tube things. I'll put them on screen. I think that's what the costume department used. And then styrofoam or something for the head. I forget what exactly. Then again, I wasn't a giraffe, I was a buzzard, so... Why didn't the guy in the elephant duck? I'm just noticing that. Why didn't he duck? Alright, now that that's over with, Zazu's asking Scar why he wasn't at the presentation ceremony. And this part right here made sense in the movie because Scar was actually playing with the mouse he was about to eat. But here he was talking to it for a little bit, and then he was about to eat it, and then scared the shit out of him. Mufasa shows up, and Scar's obviously annoyed that he is no longer first in line to be king because Mufasa's son was born. Scar goes away, and Zazu talks about battery.
Well, sire, you make a very handsome throw rug.
Zazu.
And just think, whenever he gets dirty, you can take him out and beat him.
6 months later. The lionesses are out hunting, and Mufasa tells Simba about the kingdom.
Everything that touches the light is our kingdom.
Hey, you ever thought about what happens at night? The light sort of goes, bye-bye. Do you just not have a kingdom anymore? Wait, no, your kingdom would just be moving all the time. And it's wherever the light touches, and, it sort of touches half the world at a time.
What about that shadowy place over there?
That's beyond our borders. You must never go there, Simba.
Wait, hang on a second. There's light there, isn't there? I mean, is it shadowy because clouds? Or is it nighttime there? Theoretically, it should be daytime, or at least sunset in the movie, everywhere in that shot. So, how is it not a part of your kingdom? This movie is so fucking confusing. After Mufasa explains environmental balance in the circle of life to Simba, he has to go off and be racist against the hyenas. The hell have the hyenas done to be so hated? Did they murder a past king or something? Simba tells Scar about his tour of the kingdom, And Scar, accidentally, lets it slip that there's an elephant graveyard where Mufasa forbid him to go. So now it's Scar's and Simba's little secret. So naturally, Simba tells his friend Nala. Real quick, there's a weird-ass scene of hunting a zebra. There's space in the front, and there's space in the back to run. Why the f*** is she just sitting there? Why does she look scared looking around? Just go forward! Now, I understand why this was done because the lionesses needed a hunting scene, but maybe the execution here is a little lacking. I don't know. Simba pulls Nala away from the group of lionesses after the very pathetic job at attempting to hunt a zebra. The excuse is they're going to the waterhole, and they're allowed to as long as Zazu goes too. Now, they both know they're trying to go to an elephant graveyard, but they somehow have to get away from Zazu in order to do it. And for whatever reason, Zazu is predicting that Simba and Nala will get married and have kids. A little weird since they're only about 6-month-old cubs. Surprise song to lose Zazu. I think you can tell at this point, but the way that elephant was made, it was just like some sort of paper thing, I forget, that was on... You know, one of those like TV cart things? That's what this whole thing was on. Once the two make it to the elephant graveyard, they start playing around and then they get held hostage by the hyenas. Zazu tries to save them and then Simba decides to be a socially incompetent moron.
But Zazu, you told me hyenas are nothing but slobbering, mangy, stupid poachers.
So after that racist spiel about hyenas, right in front of the hyenas, they rightfully get angry. So Simba's gonna die. Roar! Oh wait, never mind. After Mufasa takes Simba, Nala, and Zazu home, the hyenas come back out. And guess who shows up? Fluffy. No, Scar. I'm shocked. A conniving younger brother that resents his older brother for replacing him being the first in line for king? Really? He'd come up with a scheme to kill the heir? No! Really?
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Listen, I know how you feel. I really do. I dealt with these idiots too, back when I went to in-person school, which is why I highly recommend you go to an online school instead. You avoid all of them. Scar complains about the hyenas not being able to kill Simba, and they retort that Mufasa was there. And what could they have done? Killed him? Turns out yes. Now, be prepared. This is a really weird one because it goes from the original 1994 movie where there's goose stepping and it frames Scar as a straight-up dictator to Broadway, which is the same thing except it's on stage. Then you get to this, whatever this is, all the way down to the remake a year later being slam poetry. God, that was awful. So now that that's done with, we cut back to Mufasa and company.
Zazu,
Yes, sire?
take Nala home. I have to teach my son a lesson.
Ooh, time for disciplinary action. I wonder what it'll be. Is it like the lion version of spanking or something? Or is this a timeout? Or is this being grounded? Whatever the lion version of any one of those are. Oh, no, it's nothing. Turns out Simba's getting away with it scot-free. And yes, it's daytime again. But I never did this, but I could not imagine what my parents would do to me if I nearly got 2 other people killed along with myself. I'd be like grounded for a year or something. I don't know. Mufasa tells Simba that the stars represent the ancestors, and we all come out on stage to sing a song for whatever reason. And with, by the way, my camera, you can see me fumbling a little bit with it because I was the lucky bastard to get a candle that didn't fucking work. Everyone else got one that worked except me. After that night, Scar has a surprise for Simba and Mufasa in the gorge. He leaves Simba down there and tells him to practice his roar. And then he goes and gets Mufasa. God, watching this in retrospect, it's so obvious as to what he's planning to do. Scar gives the signal to the hyenas, and no wonder why there's racism in this world, because they start the stampede. Before I move further into the plot, time for some behind the scenes. There were many different animal groups, I guess, and so the rest of them were actually among the audience, but we were the one group chosen to actually be on stage, other than the lionesses, of course. And they actually had shirts for the wildebeests, so we had to just throw it on over the costume. And this time, I didn't get the short end of the stick Grayson did, because they were short by just one. Anyway, Scar tells Mufasa that Simba's in the gorge, just so happens to be where the stampede is, and Mufasa goes and saves Simba. Mufasa climbs up the cliff wall and begs Scar to help him, and Scar, well...
Long live the king!
Now he's dead. Before I move on, I just wanted to say, you can actually see me scooting a little bit here, and the reason is because there was right when Mufasa fell, it was a strobe light, and it isn't represented too well by the camera, but let me show you what it looks like from your perspective if you're actually on stage. Trigger warning, this might cause some sort of epilepsy issue, so if you don't want to go through that, you don't want to see that, you want to experience that, I skip maybe 15 to 20 seconds ahead, and I'll see you when you get there. It's like if this was in your face non-stop and you could never look away, and if you shut your eyes, you could potentially run into someone and get yourself hurt. Oh. You back yet? Nice. Oh, by the way, welcome to the night shift again. Simba's mourning the fact that his father's dead, and Scar gaslights Simba into believing that he killed his father. So Scar tells Simba to
Run! Run, Simba, and never return!
Scar's actually not a racist, and he unites the lions and hyenas into one kingdom. Honestly, this morning scene was pretty creepy. It's no fault of us or the play at all. This was creepy even in the original movie, so blame Disney.
One intermission later.
I'm gonna pause it on this frame real quick, because this was right after intermission, and I wanted to talk about it a little. The buzzards were selected to annoy Simba, so that's what we did. It's actually off camera, but we were sort of crowded around him, flapping our arms, and I think we were both sort of kicking at him a little. Not in any way that would hurt him or anything, just like in the same way pushed around the hyenas. Back to the story, Timon and Pumbaa scare Grayson and I off. Timon and Pumbaa just love chasing buzzards away, but they discovered that they saved Simba. Timon has the reasonable response as a thing that lions eat, but Pumbaa, for whatever reason, likes the kid, and they question whether Simba will be on their side. So now that Simba's awake, they talk to him, and Simba's a depressed emo kid now, and they try to brighten his mood up.
Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze.
God, I love that part. You know, something I regret from middle school is not telling the actress for Pumbaa that part was great. And it's not because I was ever into her or anything. It's because I still think about that to this day. So she did a good job. She sounded like one of those, what's the best way to compare it? Sort of like a sexy sounding black woman singing jazz. And now he's officially adopted.
3.5 years later, somehow, even though this happens in the same scene.
Simba's about 4 now. After that wonderful spectacle, time to tune in to KMLS Los Angeles, Depression Stage, with Scar Lion and Zazu Bird.
Sing something with a little more bounce to it.
Oh, you didn't like that? Then how's this?
It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all.
No, anything but that.
That's what I thought. Don't you dare be critical of my radio intros. Turns out the hyenas aren't the biggest fan of Scar because there's no food and there's no water. First of all, this kingdom's huge. Surely there's more food somewhere in it. Second of all, no water? Is everyone pretending that Scar can control the weather now? Nala pops in and Scar realizes that he wants her to be his queen, which is weird because apparently their uncle-niece relationship. Nala rejects him, which good for her. But who she ends up with is not much better. Nala then complains about the river being dry and Shadowlands and whatever, and it's almost as if she listened. She's going somewhere else. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Why is no one else going with her? Shouldn't they all be moving? If there's no food here, like I said, the kingdom's huge. They should be able to find food literally anywhere else. Oh, right, it's because Scar doesn't want to abandon Pride Rock, but then again, they all act as if leaving Pride Rock is abandoning the kingdom, even though, as stated by Mufasa,
Everything that touches the light is our kingdom.
I give up. I give up trying to understand the fucking logic. So after Nala gets finished with singing on Pride Rock, we cut back to the jungle with Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa.
We're in the jungle, the
No.
might.
Sorry, guys. We gotta move on. Something's not right.
Thank God someone stopped her from singing that awful song. Once they finally find a resting spot, they all wonder what those things in the sky are. Also known as stars. Simba says they're the ancestors. And Timon and Pumbaa laugh their asses off because they know it's ridiculous, even though they have no clue what stars are either.
They're fireflies. Fireflies I got stuck in that big flush puppy.
Ha! See? Ridiculous.
Oh, I thought they were balls of gas burning millions of miles away.
Oh, wait, you're right. Touché. Simba leaves Timon and Pumbaa temporarily, and in that time, somehow they manage to get attacked by Nala. So they fight it out until Nala realizes it's Simba. Happy reunion. Nala informs Pumbaa and Timon that Simba is the rightful king of the Pride Lands. Nala tries to convince Simba to take his rightful place as king, which goes about as well as trying to get me to go back to here. And it turns out Simba and Nala love each other. Wanna know how I know that? 'Cause love song. Aww, how sweet, how nice. By the way, they're cousins. Let's gloss over that real quick because I don't want to think about how California has the same marriage law as Alabama does. Instead, I want to focus on this specific scene here. First of all, we had partners and mine was remember Zebra Girl here. So part 1, we had to walk in a circle like that. Part 2, I swear for whatever reason I remember this, and I guess it didn't actually happen, but I remember in this we were all holding each other's hand. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just misremembering it. So then after our little spin, your partner would be on one side of the stage while you would be on the other. And again, for whatever reason, I have a memory of it being sex specific, of the guys being on Simba's side and the girls being on Nala's side. Again, I guess I'm misremembering it, meaning I don't actually remember how each side was assigned. Maybe it was just something they told us to do at practice. I don't know. Great, we're now all walking in a circle for whatever reason. And then we all slowly exit the stage as they, finish. And then we all slowly leave the stage while Nala and Simba are finishing their song. And Rafiki is listening in. Also, I never knew this until just now, but apparently there were people crying, like, directly next to the camera. Here's audio.
It's enough for this restless wanderer just to be with you.
So after that, there's an argument between Simba and Nala, and Rafiki convinces Simba that somehow his father is alive as his spirit. Round 2 of candle not working. Oh wait, my candle actually worked this time. Never mind. Simba talks to Mufasa, and Simba changes his mind and goes back to the Pride Lands. And not only does Nala go with him, but Timon and Pumbaa go too, just because they're buddies and they want to stick with Simba till the end. Why did I say it like that? They don't die. Timon and Pumbaa distract the hyenas by using themselves as bait. Small thing I noticed was the phantom hand of the tech crew. And Simba confronts Scar. Scar tells the little secret that Simba killed his dad. A fight breaks out between everyone, and then it's revealed that Scar killed Mufasa, not Simba. Scar disses the hyenas, and Simba grants him some mercy.
Run away, Scar, and never return.
Scar rejects it, and Simba pushes him into the hyenas, and they eat him alive. Which, by the way, the original movie was much more graphic with this. Let me check the rating for the movie. It's rated G, so I guess eating lions alive on camera is G material. Makes perfect sense. Yet Minecraft is E10. Oh, and by the way, the remake is even more graphic. I mean, at least they gave that a PG. Wind Waker HD is E10, even though the original is E, even though it's the exact same game, except with better graphics. Yet this is PG. So now that Scar's dead and Simba's installed as the rightful king, everyone celebrates and the environment gets better somehow magically. I guess the king really does control the weather. Like, what? By the way, in the play, this happens immediately after the installment of a new king. Simba. But this scene happens many months later in the movie. How do I know this? Because they have a kid. Cue the final goodbyes of the play, and cue the credits of the DVD. Wait a second. Why am I the only name under Buzzards? Grayson should be there too. Okay, he's in the credits as the understudy to young Simba, but why isn't he under Buzzards too? He was the other one. That was one hell of a trip down memory lane that actually caused an existential crisis. But I don't need to get into that. I tried to reach out to some people for their input and their thoughts and experiences through the whole thing. I tried to do that. I only was successful in reaching one person, Grayson. As of right now, I've tried to reach out to the girl who played Zazu, the girl who played Pumbaa, the girl who played young Nala, and I tried to find a way to contact the actor for old Simba, but I was unsuccessful in doing that. So if you were in the play, I'll put my socials and ways to contact me up on the screen right here. I'm pretty easy to reach, so come talk to me if you were in the play. I'd really like to hear from you. And just as some closing remarks, I wanted to say Mr. Neese was an excellent director, and even though I'm not great with plays and stuff, he honestly made me wish I had gone for something bigger instead of a very minor role. Great guy to work with, just a great guy in general. His wife did the costumes, excellent. Everyone loved him, he was great. And then the establishment did what they always do to good people.
And developing news, a sex assault victim searching through social media apparently found his alleged attacker, a drama teacher. Detectives believe may have even more victims.
So fuck CMHS and fuck the CMPD. Every single one of those officers that showed up and actively made it worse by talking about him as if he was guilty of some horrible crime, which he wasn't, by the way, he was cleared, should be fired. I don't even know how they sleep at night. They're fucking horrible people. Well, that was fun, and it actually started a path of reconnecting with people I knew from CMHS. The good people, because believe it or not, there were some good people, maybe still are now, but I don't know. But this video's gone long enough. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked that video. If you did, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. If you're watching this on Rumble, follow me. Check out some of my other videos too, they're great. Also check out my other socials, and have a good day. See ya.